When I talk to young people like myself, it seems like everybody has these common goals and common dreams and common aspirations. Everybody wants to be famous. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing inherently wrong with having a lot of money, status, fame, or anything of the sort, but what I need you to understand is that nowhere in the Bible are you going to see you're going to stand before God one day with a big smile on his face. He's going to look you in your eyes and say, "Well done, good and famous servant." You're not going to see it. But what you are going to see is that what you have the opportunity to do is one day stand before God and hear some of the most amazing words in the world. "Well done, good and faithful servant." Famous or faithful, famous or faithful. Do you want to be famous or do you want to be faithful? You see, actually, you can be both. It's possible to be both famous and faithful. But my challenge for you today is that you let fame, fortune, status, all those things simply be the result, a byproduct of your faithfulness to God. Why? Because there have been a lot of people who loved God, they pursued God, they chased God, they loved Him with all their heart. Then they got a glimpse of the money, the status, the fame, the glitz, the glamour all too soon, and they wandered so far away from God. And listen to me, I don't want that to be you. Because God has plans and purposes for your life that aren't just about you. They're not just about, wow, if this happens, great, and if it doesn't, nobody cares. You see, there's people on the other side of your obedience to God. Somebody said your existence is evidence that this generation needs something that's inside of you. Listen to me, there are people whose life, soul, destiny, and eternity are attached to your obedience, to the call and the faithfulness to the call of God on your life. Do you want to be faithful or do you want to be famous? Do you want to be faithful or do you want to be famous?
We've seen that movie before. Steph Curry with another three.
This is in transition with a defender right in your face.
We've been watching it all year long. He's put this team on his back. He's made plays.
Steph Curry for three.
We had a lot of back and forth growing up, and playing one-on-one outside in our driveway until way past midnight, and my mom having to come literally drag us out or back into the house. And a part of that is, as you know, just being confident in your abilities and the platform that God's given you in life, and using that platform to shine light back to Him. The Lord's blessed me with these talents to do something special, but it's not about me.
That's great. Yeah, faithful before they became famous.
You see, our world and our culture does a very poor job of painting the picture of what both of these things are. You see, the world tries to tell you that fame is all good, it's all upside, no downside, it's all positive, no negative, it's all easy, exciting, and fun, and there's no bad parts to it at all. And it tries to tell you that faithfulness to God, that's something boring, that's something I don't want to pursue, that's something I don't want to associate with. What this really is a false definition of what fame is. It's a false definition of what faithfulness is. And all in all, it's really just a false definition of what success is. You see, I brought with me here in my pocket a pen, and you and I both know that this pen, the purpose of the pen, is to use the ink that is inside of it to write. And you and I both know that even if this pen is an amazing bookmark in my favorite book, if it can't take this ink that's inside of it and write on a piece of paper, this pen has not succeeded, it's failed. And what that tells us, my friends, is that success by definition is the purpose of a thing fulfilled. It's you finding, following what God has created, called, and crafted for you to do. You see, if you become rich and famous and that's where your path takes you, more power to you, but too many people pursue those things because they think that's what success is. And really, truly, no matter how big or small what you're called to do is, success is you doing what God has created, called, and crafted you. You see, success can be the elementary school teacher who understands the impact she's going to have on the lives of the kids she raises up. And so she raises up kids who learn to love themselves and love others' success. It can be the older lady who works in a middle school cafeteria, not because she couldn't be doing something else, but because she feels called to that post, and as Paul would say, is living a life worthy of the calling that she has received. Success could be the mother who unexpectedly loses her husband and she needs to be down, needs to be sad, needs to mourn, but she looks over and she sees two twin 5-year-old kids looking up at her eyes and needing her to be strong, and so she was strong, as was the case. when my mother, my twin sister, and myself listen to, the success is not measured in how many things you have, the bling you have, the status, the money you have. No success. Success is you finding and following what God has created you to do. Because remember, you will not stand before God and hear, "Well done, good and famous servant." You can only hear, "Well done, good and faithful servant."